Today, Sunday, the 20th of April 2025, we have some handpicked match prediction to share with you, which of course will be backed up by some stats and analytics to help you make your picks in the list to boost your winning by a greater percent. And to those of you who want to have access to our handpick event, which we share to members only, especially our top games for goals match picks and corner kick event, with each odds to take your winning to the next height, then you want to make sure to subscribe to the Level 2 Pro membership package plan or the Level 3 Master plan to have access to these features to take your winning to the next height. To those of you who want to join, the link is below this video. You want to make sure to click on that link, navigate and join to become a member and start to have access to these features. So without wasting time, I want to dive directly to the games of today since we are having a very long list to share. So without wasting time, before I proceed, I have a quick announcement to make. If you come here to the front page of our channel here, you are going to see that we provide match predictions for members only. These are members only match prediction picks, which will provide our top hand pick event in terms of corner kicks, goal probability, and straight wins with the highest win rate, which you can take advantage of it. For you to access this feature, you want to make sure to join the Level 2 Pro plan or the Level 3 Master plan. You can also have access to our top-notch tutorial classes. For example, if you're a member of the Level 2 Pro plan, you're going to have access to the Level 2 Pro classes. This will give you access to the live match corner kick strategy for members only. A simple trick to make consistent win, match prediction strategy that will amaze you, straight win and comeback strategy for members only, the tactical straight win and 2.5 goal strategy, and the 99% win rate strategy for members only. Of course, you can access all this video tutorial in one place once you become a member of the Level 2 Pro plan, as well as having access to a handpicked event. But if you join the Level 3 Masterclass or Master plan, you have access to Level 3 Masterclass, which will give you access to the excellent corner kick strategy being reviewed step by step, the top secret AI tool we use to find events or match games in terms of straight wins and goal probability, game changer corner kick strategy that reveal the top secret site we use to find corner kick events to include in our slip, 6 amazing AI tools you can use, home and away win match prediction strategy step by step, and 2.5 goal strategy that you can use to beat the bookies and win even more. So you can have access to all of these features once you are a member of the Level 3 Master Plan, and you can access all of this video tutorial from the link below this video once you subscribe as a member of the Level 3 Master. So that being said, without wasting time, let's look at the first game we have to share with you. Looking at the first event, we are looking at Germany in the second Bundesliga. We are looking at the match between Magdeburg against Regensburg. In this event, Magdeburg, the home team, have proved to be offensive, scoring 2 goals, 4 goals, 3 goals in the recent event they have had, and also another 3 goals here. Of course, if we look at the performance of the opponent based on the way game played, you're going to see that they concede very much in terms of the recent event. The defensive line is weak. If we now look at the stand performance in terms of the recent event they've had, the performance of the home game played have proved that you can see they sit on the 7th place. They've had 5 game play recently with 3 wins, scoring 12 and conceding 8. Offense is good, defense is not very tight. But if we look at the away performance of the away team in terms of the away, you're going to see that they sit right in the last place. They've had 5 games recently at the away. All the 5 losses, they have just scored 1 goal, conceding up to 14. To tell us that the defensive line is very weak, giving advantage for goal probability, and as a result, we want to look at 2 major picks here in full time. For this particular event, one of the sides have proved to concede very much in terms of the recent event they have had. And as a result, we'll look at the probability of goals, 1.5 goal in full time as one of the major pick, as well as the possibility of 2 goals over. This is our major pick for this gameplay in full time. Looking at the next here, we are looking at Russia in the Premier League, a match between Zenit playing against Khimki. In this event, Zenit have proved to be very offensive in the recent event they have had this same year, scoring 2 goals, 4 goals, 4 goals, and 5 goals recently based on the event they have recently had. If you look at Khimki, on the other hand, they do concede very much with a weak defensive line to prove that they do concede. Of course, the stand performance in terms of the recent event they've had, Zenit, the home, have proved to sit here on the 10th position. They've had 5 games played, 2 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses, scoring 11, conceding 6. Offense is good, defense not very tight. But if we look at that of its opponent in terms of the strength of the away have proved that the defensive line is not very tight, but they do also try to score at least 1 goal per every event. Since the defense of both sides are not very tight, both sides want to impress, and as a result, we'll look at 2 major picks here in full time. For this particular event, both of the two sides want to impress, and since the defensive line of both sides are not very tight, at least 1.5 goal is our major pick here in full time, or 2 goals over. In the next, we looked at Japan in the J1 League. We are looking at Urawa Red Diamond playing against Yokohama F Marinos. In this event, Red Diamond have proved to score 2 goals, 1 goal in each event based on recent events. Yokohama, on the other hand, do also score and do concede as much as they can. You can see conceding 2, conceding 3, conceding 2 in the recent gameplay. Of course, looking at the recent head-to-head they had not very far ago, Urawa Red Diamond lead 2 against 1. This time, of course, Yokohama will also want to take an upper better play. Of course, looking at the form in terms of the recent event they have had, the performance of Red Diamond in terms of the recent game they have proved that they recently have 4 games with 3 wins recently, scoring 5, conceding 4. That of the opponent in terms of the way gameplay have proved that, of course, they sit here in the 19th position with a defensive line that is not very tight. So 2 of the teams are almost of equal strength. They want to see how they can impress, causing shoot on and off target to be more. As a result, we are looking at 2 major picks in full time. For this event, we are looking at 1.5 goal or 2 goals in the brackets in full time. The 1.5 goal is our major pick for this event in full time, since both teams are almost of equal strength and they want to impress, causing more shoot on and off target. So 1.5 goal is our major pick. Looking at the next, we looked at Estonia in the Mestre Liga Women. We are looking at Flora Women against Saku Sporting Women. In this event, Flora have proved to be very offensive in the recent event they have had, scoring 4, scoring 5, scoring 5, and scoring 2. Of course, its opponent Saku Sporting have proved to also score, but they do concede very much. Conceding 2, conceding 1, conceding 5, conceding 3. The conceding power is really high. That of Flora in terms of the stand performance by the recent event they have had, the performance of Flora have proved that they sit here in the 2nd place. This tournament is just starting. They've had 1 game just recently scoring up to 4 goals. Offense is very good. That of its opponent, on the other hand, in terms of the recent event they've had, have proved that they sit in the 6th place with a defense that is not very tight, conceding 2 goals in 1 game played. And looking at everything in place, we want to look at 2 major picks in full time. For this particular event, the performance of the home have proved to be very offensive. And since the defense line of the way is not very tight, we look at the home to be an upper hand to lead as one of the major picks, as well as we look at the possibility of at least 1.5 goal in full time or 2 goals over. It's our major pick for this particular event in full time. Looking at the next, we looked at Azerbaijan in the Premier League. We're looking at Zira against Sumqayit. In this event, Zira have proved to score 3 goals, 1 goal in recent event they have just had in the PL itself, and also 2 goals and 1 goal. That of its opponent, on the other hand, in terms of the recent event they have had, proved that it's concede 2 goals, concede 1, concede 1, concede 1, and they do try to score at least 2 to 1 goal in each event. Looking at the stand performance in terms of the recent event they have had, the performance of the home and comparing to that of the away in terms of the recent gameplay they have had, of course, home Zira have proved that they sit here in the 1st place. They are the one toppling this table. They have recently had 5 games with 4 leads, scoring 10, conceding 4. But if we look at that of its opponent, on the other hand, in terms of the recent event they've had, you're going to see that they sit right here in the 7th place. They've had 5 games with 5 leads. That is 5 games, 5 goals conceded, scoring just 2, winning 1, drawing 1, and losing 3. Of course, looking at everything in place here, I want to look at 2 major picks in full time. For this particular event, Zira have proved to be more offensive in terms of the recent event they've had. And since the defense of the way is not very tight, we look at the home to either lead in full time as one of the major pick or to give it a double chance. It's our major pick for this particular event in full time. Looking at the next, we look at Spain in the Premier Division women. We are looking at DUX Logrono women against Huelva women. The home team have proved to scoring 2, 2, and 4 in the recent event they have had to prove that they are a good striking team. And looking at that of Huelva, on the other hand, they do concede with a weak defensive line. The conceding power is very much. Considering the stance performance in terms of the recent event they've had, the performance of the home in terms of the home performance have proved that they sit here in terms of the home in the 5th place. They've had 5 game play with 3 wins, 2 draw, scoring for 11 and conceding 4. That's a good offense. Defense is not also very tight, but that of Huelva, on the other hand, have proved that they sit right in the 13th place. Of course, the defense is weak and want to look here at 2 major picks in full time. For this particular event, the home performance is better, and since the defense of the way is weak, we look at the home to take advantage of that weak defense to lead as one of the major pick, or as well as just looking at 1.5 goal or 2 goals over in this event in full time. Looking at the next, we look here in the Turkey in the 3rd League, Group 1. We're looking at Anadolu Universitesi playing with Ergene Velimese in this event. The form of the home in terms of the recent event they've had by the recent gameplay have proved that Anadolu is good. They've had 5 games recently at home, 4 wins, 1 draw. They have scored 7, conceding 2. Offense is good. Defense is also very good. But if we look at that of its opponent, Ergene, on the other hand, you're going to see that they sit right here in the last place. The defensive line is very weak. They've had 5 games recently with no wins, scoring 0 goals and conceding up to 11, giving advantage for the home to take advantage of that weak defense of the away. As a result, we'll look at 2 major picks in full time. For this particular event, the performance of the away is very weak. We'll look at the home with the high strike power to lead as one of the major picks, as well as at least 1.5 goal here in full time as the next possibility in this event in full time. Looking at the next, we'll look at third key still in the third group, in the third league, but this time, of course, group 1 still, but this time Bursaspor against Bornova. In this event, the home team have proved very offensive, scoring 3, 4, and 1, 4 in the recent event, especially in the third league, 2 in this same year. Of course, that of Bornova, on the other hand, concede very much with the weak defensive line. Looking at the stand performance in terms of the recent event, they have had the performance of the home in terms of the home form have proved that they lead this table. They sit on the first place. They've recently had 5 games with 4 wins and a draw. No loss has been recorded, scoring 14, conceding 3. Offense is very good. Defense is also very good. If we look at that of its opponent, on the other hand, in terms of the recent event they have had, you're going to see that its opponent, based on the way, is very weak. They've had 5 games played at home, at away, no win, scoring just 1, conceding 5, giving advantage of the home to take advantage of that weak defense. As a result, we'll look at 2 major picks in full time. For this particular event, the performance of the home is proved to be very good. Of course, that of the away concede more, and we look at the home to have an upper hand to lead as one of the major picks, as well as at least 1.5 goals in full time as the next pick in this particular gameplay. Looking at the next, we looked at Argentina in the Premier National. We are looking at Estudiantes against Rio Quito. That is Estudiantes with Defensor Unidos. In this event, the home Estudiantes have proved to be scoring at least 1 goal, 1 in each event. The opponent have proved to concede very much with a weak defensive line. Of course, looking at one of the gameplay they had, especially against a team like Chachatina Junior, Agro Pecurio, and Gimnasia Mendo, Amira Brown, and other teams. Of course, this home team have also had another game played with some of the opponent which they proved to be better. You can see that based on the stand performance in terms of the recent event they've had, the performance of the home in terms of the home games they've had have proved that the home team sit here, as you can see, they sit on the 9th position. They proved to be better in terms of recent event they've had, scoring 4, conceding 2, and 2 wins and 2 draws. No loss has been recorded yet. But if we look at that of its opponent in terms of the recent event, in terms of the offense and defense and the time of the loss, you're going to see that it's a away team, as you can see, that is very conceding. They have conceded 8 goals in just 5 games played. They have not had good wins and they have had a lot of losses. Of course, as a result, we look at 2 major picks in full time. Looking at this particular event, of course, we are looking at the home to be the upper hand to lead as one of the major pick or to give it a double chance. It's our major pick for this event in full time. Looking at the next, we looked at Argentina in the Torneo Federal. We are looking at Chivilcoy against 9 de Julio. In this event, the home have proved to be very offensive, scoring 2, 2, and 1 in the recent event they have had. The opponent concede very much with a weak defensive line. They are very weak in the defensive line. Of course, conceding 1, conceding 3, conceding 2. The defensive line is not very good. Looking at the stand performance in terms of the recent event they have had, the performance of the home by the home gameplay they have had have proved that they sit here, they are leading this table. They have had 3 games recently with all the 3 wins, scoring 5, conceding 2. Offense is good, defense is also good. But that of its opponent in terms of the recent event they have had proved that they sit in the 9th place. They've had 2 gameplay with no wins, conceding 4, to prove that the defense is weak and the offense is not good. As a result, we look at the home to take advantage of the defense, weak defense of the away, and we look at 2 major picks in full time. For this particular event, we look at the home to lead or to give it a double chance as a major pick in full time. And to those of you who want to have access to our hand pick events, especially the ones we share to members only, in terms of our top goals match possibility pick and corner kick events and the top-notch tutorial classes we share to members only, then you want to make sure to join the Level 2 Pro membership package plan or the Level 3 Master Plan to have access to our handpick event and all our top-notch tutorial classes to take your winning to the next height. So those of you who want to join, you want to make sure to follow the link below this video and see how you can join to also have access to these features. Good luck and see you again in the next upload, and bye-bye for now.